welcome to Superb Community Teaching February edition. I mean, it's quite an interesting edition because this happens to be the first time I will be putting a face to much of the teachings that go on our community on WhatsApp. All right, so this year I intend to teach with video formats, not the typical writings and all of that, so that we can have ample time to express and explain the topics and the concepts we discuss. So yes, welcome. And this month we will be discussing allegiance. Our topic is allegiance. You know, it baffles me because I have had to ponder on this severally, right? This is most likely the third video. Of course, this will be the video that we're going out, but this was likely the third video on this matter because I've had to revisit it, think it through, ponder on it over and over and over again. Because the concept of allegiance apparently is deeper than we have often looked at, and it affects our lives in every single way. Especially if you're trying to make meaning of life, you're trying to pursue a purpose, and you are trying to build beliefs and constructs and systems or code of operations, like the codes of your personal or individual operations. If you're trying to build any of these things, allegiance is a major influencing factor that you always encounter or suffer from its effect. And so, dearest people, dearest members of the community, and anyone who will be watching this is that discourse on the subject of allegiance. So what is allegiance? Popularly, often defined, the word allegiance is synonymous to loyalty. But the difference between allegiance and loyalty is that allegiance is a form of loyalty. In quotes, yes, because allegiance is loyalty, but is loyalty to a particular class of individuals, a particular class of systems, a particular class of structure. What do I mean? So allegiance is the loyalty you have to superior persons or organizations or customs or individuals or country, everything higher than you that you are loyal to. That loyalty is called allegiance. It's a kind of commitment to be for and give your support, to pour out yourself in service, or to be at the service, right, of the superior construct. So now there's something interesting about this, right? What's interesting is that every citizen of a state is obligated to have allegiance or to swear allegiance to their state. Every time you're working in a company, an organization, your allegiance is with that organization. Your allegiance is with your boss, and the business. Your allegiance is towards the entirety of the vision of the organization. Every time you are submitted to an authority, what is demanded or what is required or what is obligated or obligatory of you as subservient to the authority is allegiance. It's your allegiance that propels you to obey. It's your allegiance that propels you to propagate the course that you're pursuing or the authority is pursuing. It's your allegiance that propels you to identify. It's your allegiance that propels you to defend. It's your allegiance that puts you involved and stirs up passion. That's loyalty. Isn't this interesting? Because many of us we've sworn allegiance unconsciously to people who are higher than us. We've sworn allegiance, unconsciously, really, we've all at some point given, by being a member of the state, you want to get citizenship of another country. Of course, that's something you have to be contributing, inhabitant of the state. You have to do so much that makes the country see that you're for them, and as well they give you the citizenship. And also that means you work, you pay taxes, you follow their rules and regulations, you abide by them, all those things. In academics, you swear allegiance to your school. How you go to the school, you maintain the rules and regulations of the school, you keep to time that the school has said, you attend the classes, you defend the school, you represent the school, you bear the school name with pride and honor, representing them even outside of the school compound. Your uniform doesn't just tell that you're a student, your lifestyle, your behavior, because you're also a representation of the values, of the customs, of the norms, of the beliefs of that system. We are all from one tribe or the other. We keep to the traditions of our origin. We subscribe to them. We uphold them. All of these things. Let's get into the religious space. Same thing. You you have to defend your faith, you stand by your faith. But there is a problem with allegiance. And the problem with allegiance is the problem of humanity, because people, individuals, systems, and structures are not perfect. And because you are navigating through life, you can find yourself under an authority or under a system that does not align with your personal value. Now, the problem is that anyone who breaks the code of allegiance, which is loyalty to the superior, is a rebel. And the truth is, you will not find yourself and be able to chart your life path without effectively rebelling against structures and systems that do not align with who you are. And one of the things about globalization is that we've realized that we are beyond just the circumference of our origin. Someone within the shores of Africa can have a vision and that has the potential and the capacity to impact the entirety of Africa and other continents. It will be a problem if such a person is never permitted to learn global phenomena and try to do things that are only within the African space or within their own niche within the African space and never try to push forward. So what happens when they have authorities, superiors, systems that limit them? What happens when your allegiance to a particular system is costing you your flourishing? You see, in the year 2025, for us as an organization, we would be discussing so many things around our theme, titled, or rather the theme, which we have called Paradigm Reform. And we'll be changing certain mindsets. The reason is because there are so many changes you would not experience except you change your understanding of those things. And we must be honest. In life, the only constant thing is change. But change is difficult. Change is tough. Change is painful. Change can cost you some pleasures and can introduce you to a period of pain. But it is inevitable. And this comes also with an idea. So it's time to shake the table. So what happens? When you believe in a particular thing and deep down in you, you know that this vision is possible, but everyone around you, superiors, and all have a different opinion. Now, the young people of our generation can relate to this best because, some of us want to pioneer things in paths and pathways that do not align with the visions and the aspirations of our parents, of society, of the culture, and all of that. We want to create, we want to reinvent, we want to bring about beautiful and new stories that almost have not been seen in our spaces. And then we are hit by suppression or blackmails or restrictions. Name them, right? And they tell you all sort of things, make you feel like you're wasting your time. And over and over again, we see people give up on vision, we see people give up on purpose, we see people give up on worthy curses that could actually change here. And you wonder, what's the big deal? Why are people above me not seeing what I'm seeing? I'll tell you that in a simple sentence. It's because you're the only one that is seeing what you're seeing. That's the reason. They don't have your eyes. It takes your kind of eyes to see what you see. And anyone who eventually sees what you're seeing has your kind of eyes. And of course, you will understand that I'm not talking about the literal eyeballs and the whole structure of the eye inside. No, that's what I'm talking about. The understanding you have to life that makes you reinterpret things and question and innovate and create. Now, what happens when you have to, because rebellion is another problem on its own, and it's not advisable to rebel in a particular way. I'll get there. So it's not advisable to rebel, so rebellion is a problem. Then do I separate myself from a system that is killing me more than it is impacting? How then do I switch my allegiance without war? I hate to say this, but it's almost impossible to totally do this in every situation without having conflict. The truth is, strife and conflict are tools to cause for realignment, especially when you are under an authority, under a system, in a country or in a that strife and conflict helps you to arrange again yourself. So when we begin to take up new beliefs, we take up new ideologies, we discover new things about ourselves that causes for our evolution, and because of our evolution, we have either become bigger than people ahead of us or become more complicated for them. Yes, you would have conflict. Yes, there will be strife. And that would see the evolution. But it shouldn't always be so. If the person who is subservient is more interested in living peacefully. So I'm going to give a number of things that can help you effectively switch, and also a number of things that should help your allegiance, because we all need, well, everyone would need that. I mean, every business wants persons who are loyal to that, right? Every business owner wants employees who are loyal to it. People not selling out their company secrets at all. The same with countries, the same with family. The same, you would need loyalty. Even in your basic friendship, loyalty is a prerequisite for you to bond with someone, right? Even up to marriage. So we all would want this, and superior relationship between superiors and subordinates require such for ease. So let me start with subordinates. So for subordinates, what happens when the person above you no longer sees what you see and your visions no longer align? Live peacefully. And how do you live peacefully? Try not to teach them what you see. Try not to convince them of what you see. Yes. Try not to convince. No, I didn't say do not say it. Say it, share the idea. But when you realize that they are speaking down on you, they are trying to blackmail you, they are trying to silence you and get you out of that vision, do not get offended. It can be painful, but try to avoid offense and vanish peacefully. I'll be waiting for some questions anyways, because I can't say those questions generally. But vanish peacefully, avoid the conflict, run if possible, resign if necessary. It's going to cost you something, you're going to go through pain, but that's the price for the vision. And if you count what you believe in worthy enough to pursue, then you should be willing to run the race at some point alone, to a degree, till people begin to catch you and understand it. So live peacefully, do not poison other people's minds, do not try to speak against, do not pick on flaws, just avoid all of that. Understand that they do not see what you see, and it may just be because you have not dared to step out alone. Because when you do, they might be the same persons that will give you all the support you need. So try to live peacefully, pursue it with wisdom, do the things you believe in, as long as, and please, I'm talking about visions that are beautiful to carry out, not that you want to annihilate human beings, not all those demonic things, please. This is a Christocentric, so I'm talking within the confines of values within Christianity. This disclaimer is necessary. Yeah. So try not to have that. Just leave. Let them say anything about you. Do not defend yourself. Allow for the results of your work to defend you eventually. Or do not go about speaking and trying to correct any opinion or anything they say because of you left. Just live peacefully. Let there be no words of yours that they can use against you when narrating the ordeal. Let's do that. Oh, because I did not allow that this person should become this. Oh, that's why this person stopped coming, and that's why I decided to resign, or that's why he stopped associating with me, that's why he stopped attending this place, or that. Let it be their story about you. And wherever you are confronted about it, say beautiful things about it. Keep the honor for that system. Why? Because your ability to understand deeper, whether you like it or not, was as a result of the system you were under. The system either influenced you to think deeper in the positive light, or to think contrary because of how negative the system was. So either ways, the system was the trigger for the vision you carry. And you must appreciate that system for steering you in that direction. Yes, for steering you in that direction. Whether the trigger was negative or it was positive, it was for such a reason that you were steered to that good course you currently try to pursue. So appreciate the system. Now, I said something about offense. Try not to be angry. See, pain is a sensation, an indicator. It's not supposed to be long lasting. We only rehearse pain when we refuse to treat what exactly is causing pain. As long as what is causing the pain or the disturbance is solved, pain disappears. I'm speaking biologically, and this also applies to our emotion. The only reason why a particular scenario keeps hurting you, particular ordeal keeps hurting you, is because of how much you rehearse it. So try as much as possible to avoid rehearsing the hurtful words, and try as much as possible, believe so much in what you're doing. Find systems that strengthen your own beliefs, that you can use their words to fill it up. Do not value where you're coming from so much that you're trying to prove them wrong. You would hardly be able to achieve much. Let them be in their space and trust that as you make a name with what you're doing, they will catch up with you. Try, the third thing I'll say, not to, I mentioned it earlier, not to speak evil against the systems or the people, the superior, because you're not perfect. You may likely make a mistake and somebody will have to pull away from you too, even as you grow. So you must ensure that you are not sowing seeds of hatred that will speak against you in days to come. Try as much as possible, dearest one, to avoid gossips, to avoid pity parties and people who are willing to listen to you break honor code. No, don't do that. Now remember I said that rebellion, you don't need it, or we don't need to rebel with conflict. Now these things I said is the fastest way to rebel without conflict. You just go through your pain alone, you will suffer it alone, it becomes your story, it becomes your problem, it becomes your cross, it becomes the price you have to pay for that which you believe in. It's as raw but as painful as it sounds. Raw, painful, but real. And when it eventually speaks, you will look back on it and count it all joy. A quick example, the story of Joseph. So hated by your brothers, sold to slavery, accused wrongly by Potiphar's wife, put in prison, then comes out to become prime minister. Eventually have his siblings at his mercy. But because the heart of this man has been healed, he wasn't trying to oppress them. Rather, he entered into the place of these things that I was saying, the Lord using me to preserve. I did not narrate it well then because it was still raw, but now the vision has spoken, the vision has become better. Now I should preserve my people. And at no point did he ever wake up and deal with them. Even when all of his father died, people that thought, oh, now they will show them shake, but no, he still reassured them, I'm never coming against you because you did not know. That's the excuse you will give to them. But there are some systems that you are not permitted to leave. Rather, you are supposed to be one who alters the system. Now, that's where there's a problem because it will take a whole lot from you. Take, for instance, an issue of bad governance in a state. If you're going to solve the problem, you have to get involved. And you have to get involved, but not just be alone. You have to convince as many persons. You have to convince the majority. You have to get majority on the side of good governance in a state to be able to push for right policies, right laws, and all of the things that make for the effectiveness of governance. Now, you see, in such a case, you would need to be trained, you would need to study, and you would need a lot of wisdom and secrecy. You would need to plant a lot of seeds in people to be able to influence them. You will need influence. You will need virality. You would need to be in the faces of people at the same time. You would need to be serpent wise. My father used to tell me something. He said the snake that always comes out as a snake from when it was young to threaten people is the one that people see to kill. But the snakes that stay hidden and stay hidden, hunting the little animals, eating the small ones, avoiding people, when they eventually surface, they become the big snakes that frighten and cause great harm. Quick example, the everyday snake you kill in the bush, we don't see the python or the anaconda every day. No, they are not everyday snakes. And it takes a level of bravery for you to face a python the first time and confront it. So you understand what I'm saying by that. You must learn to go through the corridors of power quietly. You will need influence, you will need virality, you will need to be in people's faces, but you will also need to know how to utilize all of these things in secrecy. This is a very deep one. So you must understand that the python is known, the anaconda is known, but all the days of their formation, we are not having camera in front of them. So we only get to eventually see them at the days of their period, where they have amassed the power and the strength to wreak the havoc they can wreak. That is the thing about our generation of listen. We are quick to start shouting when we just have the vision and we do not have the power, we do not have the capacity. And so the problem is that, remember, allegiance is what you have to a superior body. The superior body is superior for a reason. They can bench you, they can suppress you, they can do things that can mar you and can affect you. It doesn't affect vision, but it will affect you because vision is for an appointed time. So you can actually have more issues. And if persecution is not a requirement for your vision, you have no business being there. You really have no business being there. So you see, when it comes to rebellion, that would need a form of conflict. You would need power enough, not to equal the power that is sitting. No, because equal strengths do not outweigh each other until somebody gets tired. And if someone gets tired, then it's no longer equal strength. So you must have power enough to overthrow. So it means that you have to study, know what they know, and know something that they do not know. And you don't just need to know it as a mental awareness, you need to know it deep enough for it to be something you can deploy, for it to be who you are. You can't beat a master at his game if you do not know something that the master is not aware of. He's a master for a reason. And so this is the only way to effectively take over if conflict is necessary. So you would need people on your side. You would need resources on your side. You would need a clear mind. And you would also need to start building your own circle. Now, no, I'm not teaching you how to take over governmental power. This is also how you influence low-level leadership positions. Because if we can begin to cause this influence from low stratas of the society, we can begin to culture the people that we can eventually take the top effectively. Now, one thing to remove in the entirety of the world is, why I say keep things moving the world, because most times when we're about to cause for this conflict, people begin to think death is a solution. No, it's not. Death is no solution. Killing somebody, having bloodshed, no. Don't get your hands stained. And this now I'm talking to people who are going to the spaces of power. Now, if you are in a company or in a business, just quit. Don't try to kick somebody, just quit. Quit and go start up what you think. And if you're not going to quit, then follow the rules of where you are. Let me sum this up. Allegiance is good, but it becomes bad when your allegiance is to something negative. Negative outwardly or negative inwardly. So be careful of where you swear allegiance to, because when you sworn allegiance, you will follow everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So whatever you're swearing allegiance to should be something you want to see yourself in the next 10 years doing, see yourself in the next 10 years revisiting or reviewing. And when you see the effects and the products and the outcome, you will have no regrets, you will have no guilt. You would have a clear conscience. That is where allegiance should be. Now, some things cannot be taken away. The allegiance you have to your state of origin or your nation can't be broken, except you lose the citizenship and become a citizen of another place. So when you have such allegiance and then you have bad governance, you have problematic leadership, to learn the ropes effective to usurp power. And that one will give God on your side. God bless you. I'm famous warrior Chijioke, and I hope this was able to inspire you.